Hello and welcome. My name is Isabel, and today we will do a session on rejection. So we'll basically be addressing experiences of rejection or feeling rejected, and any underlying unresolved burden that might have contributed to that. So if you're new here, this will be an instructive healing session. So we're basically instructing our systems to let go of and release and dissolve whatever we can and are able to at this point. So yeah, just know that you're only gonna work with whatever's meant for you right now. And you might want to lay down, get comfortable, but you can also sit, whatever you choose. And yeah, if you drift off, that's okay. Doesn't matter. So yeah, just get settled, get comfy, pause the video if you need to. And if you're ready, when you're ready, then you can close your eyes. And just start by deepening your breath. Following your breath into your body. And breathe deep into your belly. And if there's any tension anywhere, any tightness, any constriction, just breathe into it. And then on the exhale, just release, relax deeper. And then come back to your breath. And just keep following that breath. And we'll get started. Okay, so we'll just start by just dissolving tension in the body, just overall tension. And then, especially like in the shoulders, the neck, the jaw, just releasing a little bit of that. And that's clear on stress held in the jaw. Okay, and let's address defensiveness. So like feeling defensive. I want to dissolve that, disperse that. And underneath that is fear. So like there's like a fear of like being attacked or being offended in some way or being infringed upon. So let's dissolve that. We want to clear on times where that actually happened, so the imprints of that. So times when we felt attacked or criticized, insulted, disrespected, diminished. And also times that we did that to another. Okay, so that's clear on patterns of self-diminishment and also self-discrimination. Let's work on that. And then disallowance, like not allowing ourselves basically to just be ourselves and to be at peace with ourselves. And we're still working on that. In a way, all that serves as, like self-protection, if you will. So there's less to potentially be rejected by others. So let's just address experiences of rejection. So we'll just start with just like a broad cleansing on feeling rejected. So times that we felt rejected, and also like the pain and the affliction brought on from that. And for some of us, that started already like in the womb. So we'll clear on that, like hurtful womb experiences that left us feeling rejected and not wanted from early on. And often that is tied to a lack of bonding between the mother and the child, or like a perceived lack of bonding, because it doesn't have to necessarily mean that the mother didn't, try to establish that connection, but we perceived it that way. So we want to address that, the lack of bonding and the hurt that brought on, like all the effects of that. Okay, so we're working on experiences of that in the womb, but then also in early childhood. And so for that, we'll also extend it to both parents. And again, also all that arose from that. Okay, so that's clear on unmet needs. So like when we didn't receive what we needed as a child. I want to dissolve that. And particularly when we didn't receive the love and the affection and also the nurture that we needed to the extent that we needed as a child. And again, that doesn't have to mean that parents didn't offer that. It just, it can, but it doesn't have to. It just means that we didn't receive what we needed. It was the experience of that. Okay, so let's dissolve the lack of love and the lack of affection. And the hurt caused by that. And also the conclusions drawn from that, like what we've made that mean. Okay, and then there's a sense of not deserving that. So feeling undeserving of that love, of that affection. So we want to address that. Feeling undeserving and also feeling unworthy of it. Okay, and this that also then led to like rejecting ourselves. So that's clear on patterns of self-rejection. Like any ways that that plays out, any ways that we do that we reject ourselves. Okay, we also want to address experiences of rejection in any other type of relationship. So whether that's friends, whether that is work relationships, whether that is partnerships. So times when we felt rejected. By another. And also when we rejected them. Which that kind of falls back on us too. And all the unresolved hurts that we projected onto one another. Let's clear that. And all these experiences, they led and they lead to like building up more and more walls around us due to that fear of that happening again. So let's clear on that fear. Let's clear on that fear of rejection, the fear of being rejected. Yeah, and all the mechanisms of defense and guarding and warding off that come with that. Okay, so let's just release just as much as we can right now, like just a general sense of distrust. Like not trusting others, not trusting ourselves with and in relationships. We're still working a bit on that. right. So we'll still address a few things silently, but we'll just let that sink in and just integrate what we've did for the next few minutes. Okay, so you can come back and just take a deep breath. And then when you're ready, you can open your eyes or leave them closed, whatever you want. Yeah, as always, come back to this if and when you feel called to do so, and trust yourself on that. You know when that is. Yeah, and if anything comes up today or in the next couple of days, just notice it, bring awareness to it, feel it, but don't attach any stories to it, no thoughts, don't analyze it. Just allow it to come up. Yeah, rejection, right? It's something that we all experience. We all deal with it to various degrees, I guess. Yeah, and it's a good one to address because it does keep us from, having deeper connections with ourselves and then also with another. So yeah, we want to go within and address those old hurts, resolve those feelings of rejection and anything that comes with that, so that we no longer carry it. And yeah, and to do that, I've mentioned that many times before, like we need to feel it, right? We need to go within and actually feel our feelings. Like they say often in the manifestation community, right? They always say feeling is the secret. Well, it is here too. So it might not be as delightful, and I get it, but if we do that and we actually dissolve that, and neutralize that, balance that out, then it doesn't have to weigh on us anymore. It doesn't have that grip anymore. And sure, it still comes up, we all still have those experiences. Like, I get that sense of like, I guess a common one is, this, oh, okay, if those people, if they saw all of me or that person, if they knew the whole story, then they would leave or they would reject me. And yeah, any of that. But we don't want to stay with that, because then we'll just make all decisions based on that, from that state, and from that fear, if you will. And that obviously doesn't resolve the issue. Or not the issue, but it doesn't resolve what's really going on. And also, and I've mentioned that in the last video, on shame, if you saw that, everything that we don't resolve, that we suppress, we automatically put that onto others. And that adds up, that builds up. And all of us, basically, we're all representatives for each other of different figures, of different collectives. So, for example, like every male, right? Like they'll represent all males that you've encountered in your life. First and foremost, your father, followed by your grandfathers, your brothers, if you had them, and then anyone after that. Same with the females. Represent all the females, starting with the mother, grandmothers, then sisters, if you had them, everyone after that. And yeah, that builds up, that adds up. And we project that, and then we might experience something that has nothing to do with whatever is going on. And it never does, really. It doesn't have to do anything with that person, with the situation, and it didn't start there. So yeah, and I can actually give you an example of how that can play out, so that you see it, like even without anything happening. Because of course, yeah, it can actually that experience can then resurface for us to address that, to basically show us where we're off balance. But it can also be that it's not even like that, and we just add that spin to it, if you will. So I'll give you a personal one. This was like 3 years ago. It's not related to rejection, but it doesn't matter. You'll still see what I mean. So in that case, I was like on a group call, and well, we were all able to bring something in to get resolved, right? But each of us would just have like a few minutes. And at that point, the facilitator was a man, I have to say that. At that point, that male energy for me was still linked to like not feeling safe and let down, right? So exactly that's what played out. So the moment they directed just their voice at me, nothing more, like all my alarms went off. I basically went into freeze, and then I couldn't relax, and obviously didn't get the help that I wanted, right? So that reinforced then the experience of letdown. And yeah, and nothing really happened. They didn't raise their voice. They were not different with me in any way. So it was just all me, putting that onto them and re-experiencing that. Now, had we had more time, or had I actually been honest and said, okay, I'm freaking out right now, then they could have turned that around. Because when we pick up on that with someone, we can actually then shift that experience. But in that case, I didn't say that, right? And it was good, because then afterwards I could say what actually had happened. But yeah, that's what automatically happens when we don't dissolve what's really going on, and we don't even notice it. So let's say if you actually have a lot of distrust, you're going to be suspicious no matter what, no matter if somebody actually does something and betrays your trust or not. So we can only do that within, and then building that trust from within, and building that safety from within, and connection, and everything really. So yeah, and then on the other hand, right, if we do that, then we're actually more open to more, or to a deeper way of relating, and to more intimacy, and allowing for more closeness with one another. All right. Yeah. I hope this was helpful. Anything more? No, I think that's it. So cut to the end. Thank you for being here, and thank you for diving into this with me. I hope to see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.